Hi, and welcome to the Week 1 live office hour for NT201. My name is Brian Orr, and I'll be your professor for NT201 this term. It is currently a little after 6:30. My online office hour starts at 6:15 Eastern, which is, of course, 5:15 Central, each Thursday evening. But I'm starting a little late here this evening. I was waiting to see if anyone would show up, and so far no one has, which is fine. It's kind of normal. On any given week, if no one shows up with questions, then I'll just kind of pick something to go over for the week, and if anyone does show up and has some questions, then we'll address that. And there'll always be a recording that I'll post in the announcement section of the course. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get rolling here. Again, no one has joined, but I'm just going to kind of take a little bit of time here to introduce you to the course and kind of give you the basics, what you need to know to kind of get rolling. And really, a lot of this is covered in my welcome video, which is already posted in the announcement section, but I'll just kind of highlight the more important items here in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by sharing my screen. Okay, so this is our course landing page, home page for NT201 for 2021 Summer Term A. This page basically just gives you a quick intro to the course, gives you a quick description, kind of lists the program outcomes, as far as your degree program outcomes that are covered in this course, then the individual course objectives, then some information about course materials. You'll be using NetLab each week this term, and we'll take a look at that here in this video. And I just realized that I don't have the window I'm talking about on the video screen. Let's see. Let me drag this out of the way. Here we go. Share. There. Okay, so I got to remember to keep my screen not only in the Zoom window but in the recording window as well, because I'm using something other than Zoom to record. But anyway, so here's the home page. Again, I was talking about the course description and program outcomes and the course objectives, and NetLab being the primary course material along with your textbook, and the grading policy for the course, and then the full syllabus, which you can click on here to see and download, maybe print off a copy if you are someone who likes to work from a paper copy. And so that's pretty much it for the home page. On the announcements page, here you'll see the announcements that I've already posted for week 1. And I know there's quite a bit thrown at you, but some of this stuff probably needs to be put in the course instead of done as an announcement. But anyway, it's just some stuff to help get you started. If you're already familiar with NetLab, say if you've already taken, which you should have, NT 181. That's the first course in this 3-course sequence on Windows Server. NT 201 is the second course, and then NT 301 is NT 303 is the final course. So this is kind of the middle course here. So if you took NT 181, which you should have already, it's the same course layout and the same kind of thing. So you're already familiar with NetLab, but if you're for some reason not familiar with NetLab, this announcement here will give you some information on that. This is just a quick welcome. Here's the welcome video that I mentioned earlier. You want to make sure you watch this. This will give you a quick rundown on, basically all the stuff you need to know to get started in the course. This next one here is the late policy, and this is just the Herzing University-wide late policy. This is not specific to this course or anything. But I do follow this late policy in NT201. So you want to make sure that you get all your work turned in on time. If something does come up during the term, where you have a legitimate reason for needing to submit something late, like maybe you have an upcoming kind of a sudden medical procedure, or maybe you have to go out of town for work, or whatever, something along those lines. The main thing is just to communicate that as quickly and as early as possible, and as long as you talk to me before the due date of an assignment, I think generally we'll be able to work something out. But just keep this in mind. If you just don't turn something in and then decide to try to turn it in a day or two late, you won't get any credit for it. So just keep that in mind. Here's your weekly quiz codes. I don't see any point in locking these and keeping you guys from these throughout the term. So I just post them all at one time. And then this last announcement is about the live office hour this evening. Again, I'll have a live office hour each Thursday evening from 5:15 to 6:15 Central Time, which of course is 6:15 to 7:15 Eastern. So keep that in mind. And then you don't have to show up. Just remember there'll be a recording. If no one shows up to ask questions, then I'll just pick something to kind of cover. But I'll always try to pick something that'll be useful to you. So anyway, like I say, once I finish tonight's live office hour, I'll come back into this announcement and add the link to the recording there, so you'll have that. Modules. This is where you'll want to start out each week, going through your assigned module and topics for the week. One of the more important things that you'll get in here is your reading assignment for the week, what chapters you're being assigned to read, and as far as your weekly lab assignments, which here's the first one here, the Unit 1 assignment, configuring TCP/IP. What you'll want to do is kind of figure out which way works best for you, and you probably already determined this in NT 181. Some students read the chapter, then go back and do the activities. Some people do the activities as they're reading the chapter. But the activities are what you are assigned each week. Taking a look at the Unit 1 assignment, and you'll notice that all of the unit assignments, Unit 2, Unit 3, 4, 5, so on, that they're all just like this. Basically, you're to conduct the assigned labs and submit the required screenshot. You'll notice that you have a Word document that you'll use for your assignment, and this is where you'll post your screenshots, or paste them, I guess I should say. And then notice you also have a lab guide with examples. And so if we take a look at this, you'll notice that this lab guide, and this part here is not very helpful. This is more what I'm looking at here. When we get into chapter 1, and you're working on the activities there, this will show you exactly what your screenshots should look like. So when you're getting your screenshots during each activity, make sure that you're looking at this lab guide with examples so that you know that your screenshots are looking, that you're getting the screenshot you're supposed to get. If your screenshot doesn't look exactly like the example, you run the risk of maybe not getting credit for it. As long as I can see what I need to see, it's fine. I'll give you credit, but the best thing to do is just to make sure your screenshot looks like the example that is provided. And so each assignment, each week will have this lab guide with examples where you see the exact screenshot that you're supposed to submit. So that should be real helpful to you. It's kind of like being given the answers, but you still have to do the work, obviously, but at least you know what your work is supposed to look like when you're done. Here you can access your weekly quizzes, and there is one each week, and this is based on your assigned reading. So you definitely want to make sure you complete the assigned reading before attempting these quizzes. You're welcome to use your book as you're completing these. That's one thing about working in the IT field. You're going to find that you run into things all the time that you don't know the answer to. And so one of the most important skills that you can have as a technician, or a desktop support technician, an administrator, like a systems administrator, network administrator, whatever your position you're in, if you're doing hands-on IT, you need to have good research skills. You need to be able to find answers, because you're going to run into stuff all the time that you're not going to know off the top of your head, because things are changing constantly, and there's no way, I depend on Google and other resources on a daily basis, and again, that's just the absolute most important skill that you can have in IT, is the ability to find answers. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not, but when you're in an admin position like I'm in, I don't have the option of going back to my boss and saying, I'm sorry, I can't find a solution for this. That doesn't work. And there is nobody above me to go to and ask, for assistance or anything. So when I'm presented with a problem, I don't have a choice. I have to find the solution. So basically what I'm saying is, become self-sufficient. That's what you need to do to be successful in IT. Anyway, back to our course. So here's the quizzes, again, based on your weekly reading. And that's pretty much it as far as the course is concerned. Again, hopefully you are familiar with NetLab already. Let's see, let me stop the share real quick. I'm going to open up NetLab. And share this screen with you. Okay, so once you log into NetLab, keep in mind my screen's going to look a little different than yours because I have more, I have instructor permissions. But when you come into NetLab, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to schedule your lab time. So when you go to schedule lab time, you'll first have to pick the course that you're scheduling lab time for, which will be NT201, and this will probably be the only course that you have show up unless you're taking another course this term that uses NetLab. You'll notice you only have one option here for NT201, and that's the Windows Server 2016 labs. You'll pick a date and time to schedule, and I'm just going to pick something right now so that I can get in there and show you. Click submit. Okay, and since I picked a time that's already active, I'll have the ability to go into my lab, and I just click on the Enter Lab button. Okay, so what it's going to open up to is your topology, and here you have the different servers. You may not be using all the servers in a particular lab activity, but basically what you're going to do is just follow along in your textbook and complete the assigned activity by just going through the activity step by step. And here's where you can access the various servers. So I'm going to send a Control-Alt-Delete, which will take me to the login screen. And looks like our servers are still coming up. Keep in mind, NetLab, while it is a virtual interface for you to access all these devices are real devices. I think in this instance they're virtual machines. But if you take like a Cisco routing and switching course, they're actual routers and switches. And of course a virtual machine is, a virtual server is just like any other server. It just doesn't have the physical hardware. But anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time on this, but once the lab fully comes up, it would give us the login screen. Okay, it looks like server DM1 maybe having, oh, there we go, it finally came up. The administrator password is always password01 with a capital P, and that information is provided for you in the labs. And so, at this point I'm logged on to server DM1 and could do whatever work I'm assigned there, and get the necessary screenshots that I need for that assignment. So that's really all there is to it with NetLab. Of course you'll use screen snipping tool or something along those lines to get your screenshots, whatever tool you prefer, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And I think at this point that's all I'm going to cover this evening. Still had no one join, which again is perfectly fine. So there was no one here to ask any questions or anything, but what I will do is just post this video in the announcements section here shortly. If you run into any questions throughout the week that you're not finding an answer to, don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact me via Canvas in-course messaging or email, of course, you can always speak to me live during my live office hour each week. And we keep in mind also that we have a tutor that is available for this course as well, and you can find their information in the Writing and Tutoring Center in Canvas. So, okay, well, that's about it. I'll talk to you all either later this week or in the recording next week.